Howdy folks, good afternoon. Today is Tuesday, August 31st, 2021. And you could say that now it is officially the last day of August. Whew. The major summer months are about to end. But where I'm at is, of course, at the Stump Pass Beach State Park. I've done several videos here, but I just really enjoy coming here, as it is basically one of the four barrier islands state parks that's in the area that is most accessible and has the most interpretive signs too, in terms of native flora, wildlife, and talks about the water. So looking out at the Gulf, I can still see that red tide is unfortunately still here. However, though, I'm not really going to talk too much about red tide, just because essentially I've already really covered the subject matter, as a matter of fact. So I'm just not really going to talk about it as much. But here at Stump Pass, it's also very well known for monitoring turtle nests. Some of the most prevalent turtles around here are loggerhead turtles. Those are way more common, especially in the Gulf side. But then, of course, every now and then, if you're lucky enough, there are some sightings that have been here of where they have found the Kemp's Ridley. But that sea turtle is a bit more rare to find here in particular. But usually, if you find any turtle nests, it's bound to be that it is a loggerhead. But then, even though every now and then, you can also find the green turtle, the green sea turtle as well. And usually, from what I've read in the past, green sea turtles are sometimes usually a bit more landward. So it may actually be possible that some of those turtle nests out there in the distance, like that are basically right up on the dunes, it's possible that those could be green sea turtles. But usually, most times, you really will find loggerhead. That's like the most common. Now usually, there is a severe consequence if you are to disturb their nest, just because a lot of them are endangered. So Florida is really trying their best to keep it protected as much as possible. And think about it too, think about, let's say you had like a pet that does something a bit similar, has eggs, right? And has a nest. Or if you have a bird. How would you like it if someone just came over and just destroyed the nest? Most of you would not like that at all. So really the same thing goes for even the natural world. If you disturb it on purpose and really don't do anything with it, then what's the point? You just basically prevented a new population from being born. So, and plus the severe consequence is imprisonment. So it's just not worth it, mates. So the best thing that you can really do is just monitor and observe. That's all you can really do, honestly. But usually they probably won't be hatching until another month or so. I'm still like becoming familiar with when hatching really takes place, but it is safe to say that they could hatch anytime, really. It just depends on when the mother laid their eggs. And I'll be sure to clarify that too, like what the gestation period is. I can't quite remember right off the top of my head. But yeah. And also too, if you're at a location like this, you don't want to walk, or you want to avoid walking on the dunes, just because really it's the dunes that really makes this entire barrier island possible. It's pretty much, if it weren't for the dunes, so like the sea oats, the sea grapes, the sabal palm, Coco plums, you name it, we wouldn't have this barrier island. Because even though it doesn't look like it's changing, it is. I mean, every single day it changes. Whether it be like the landscape or what's going on with the wildlife, it always changes. It never stays the same. So, and that's the biggest thing too. You just want to avoid walking on the dunes, since that really interrupts the stabilization of the sand. So, just a recommendation to not walk on that. Okay, another feature, we've actually got the Coco Plum. You may be wondering, are they really edible? Yes, they are, as a matter of fact. And usually the type of habitat they prefer are coastal scrubs, or even where we are, which are dunes. But then you can even find them in marshes as well. I mean, they're very versatile in terms of where you find them. But our fellow gopher tortoise homies, they love eating these. And actually, not that long ago, I just saw a gopher tortoise. And I could tell that it was a male because, it was doing its thing. I don't feel the need to have to explain that. But yeah, as it gets into later summer, so typically as it gets into September, October, you'll start to actually see the cocoa plums ripen up quite a bit. Right now, they still look very whitish, but as they ripen, they'll kind of turn into a pink. But yeah, rest assured, they actually are edible. You can eat them, so I'm actually going to take a little bite. Yeah. It's still a little sour. But yeah. These, they are indeed widely cultivated in the state of Florida. But obviously you don't want to pick too much of it, since this is a protected plant, considering that we're at a state park. So it's okay, perhaps, to try one, but yeah, you don't want to pick the entire thing either. Okay, so I just want to show you guys one last little feature as well. Oh, I actually did a video on these plants not too long ago. That's the beach alpaca. That is actually an invasive plant, as they come from parts of Southeast Asia and even Malaysia. However, though, you can look through my videos and you'll find more description on that. Whew, that sand is hot. Ooh, we got an osprey, also known as the Seahawk. Yeah, this is right here, the Lemon Bay. So this is essentially an estuary that is here. It will eventually go just a bit further south, and it will actually meet with Stump Pass itself, which is where the water from this estuary will empty out into the Gulf. You can see there's a bit of red tide activity here as well, just based on the reddish brown color of the water, whereas normally it would kind of be like a teal. So it really is difficult to say as to how long the red tide will be here. Usually you have to let it run its course, pretty much. It could be a couple of weeks or even at least a month. But yeah, it's just a matter of the change in currents and even temperature too. But yeah, it's all right, you guys. Forgive me for the length of the video, but as always, a lot of my videos that I do are mostly improvised most of the time. I really don't plan many of them ahead of time. So I just kind of like go with the flow, you know what I mean? Kind of figure it out as I go along. That's just how I do it. That's just one of my styles. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hope you learned something of value from it as well. And once again, enjoy your Tuesday, and Journey on a Journey is outwards. Take care, folks. See ya.